of them.
Now, to music fans of a certain age, Eric's is a name soaked in as much mystique and nostalgia, and probably beer and sweat, as the Cavern Club or Manchester's legendary Hacienda.
Now, Eric's, the headquarters of Liverpool's punk scene, is the subject of a new musical at the city's Everyman Theatre. Jane Barrett reports.
It was grungy.
A sweaty, dirty, dank cellar.
And I remember once seeing a rat die on the bar.
It was a joy to be there.
It was Eric's, and it was here behind this blue door in the basement, directly opposite the entrance to the old cavern on Matthew Street. And for 4 glorious years between 1976 and 1980, it played host to and gave rise to some of the most important bands of an era.
Among them, OMD and Big in Japan.
Big in Japan alone, you've got Ian Brody, who went on to do The Lightning Siege. You've got Holly Johnson, who went on to do Frankie Goes to Hollywood. You've got Bill Drummond, who did KLF.
Quite literally, if there was no Eric's, there would be no Orchestral Leaders of the Dark. We invented the band to play a Thursday night at Eric's.
Francesco Molino caught it all on camera.
The word spread that something special was happening in Liverpool. Probably the most iconic image would be the photographs that I took of U2 and Bono on that night where they were supporting Jay Casey and Pete Wiley.
They weren't even...
They were third on the bill.
Since then, it's a story that's largely been forgotten. Until now, with the launch of Eric's the Musical.
As a sort of 17-year-old working in the Bootle tax office at the time, I was looking for an escape. It was quite a dull, dreary time in Liverpool in that period. And for me, Eric's was a blaze of passion and fire.
Eric's kids are all grown up, kind of. Norman Killen works at the Walker Art Gallery. Back then, he was one of Eric's first DJs.
It was a bit like punk, really. It burned brightly for a short while. You couldn't... the punk groups couldn't carry on singing those kind of songs indefinitely. And that's the way the club was.
There were protests when the police finally closed it. But actually, it was a blessing in disguise.
I knew that the place was, you know, about to go bust. So when the police came and closed it, it was the best thing ever.
As for Norman, well, he played the opening night party. His first track?
John Cooper Clarke record they used to play at Eric's called...
Old Punks Never Die. Catch Eric's at the Everyman until October 11th. Jane Barrett, North West Tonight.
over the desk.
You can write in with your answers as to what he may have said there.
Absolutely. I mean, rock, jazz, soul, I was never into punk at all. Never, ever. But I know a man who was. Bit of a punk rocker.
Yeah.
And here he is with the sport. Tony.
Thank you very much, Gordon. Yes, Buzzcocks, Jam, Stiff Little Fingers, I saw them all.